All right. Welcome to the Semi-Daily Night Show. We got a good show today. Trump was found guilty and maybe going to jail, so his campaign launched a black card. You know the joke I'm going to say, so I don't need to say it. North Korea floated over 90 balloons full of human feces into South Korea. That's a shitty way to attack your enemy. Israel was caught spying on International Criminal Court officials and Palestinian aid workers. I miss when they did fun, cute things like control the weather. Robert De Niro called Trump supporters gangsters. The man made a career off being a fake gangster. Forgetting your entire career is the best thing someone in support of Biden can do, considering Biden has forgotten his entire career. And delete your search history, because every corporation is tracking you, which means Geico knows I Googled if Mediterranean was a place. It's not. I'll save you the Google search.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The Semi-Daily Night Show with Gary TV, your host, Gary.
Tonight's ceremonial first pitch, and please welcome the President of the United States.
We did it, sir.
just making sure you're paying attention.
Trump has been found guilty on 34 counts, and this is basically Christmas for people who wore masks while driving alone and gentrified neighborhoods. And people on Twitter have been celebrating. An account from Seattle protests tweeted that image. The Cheeto is finito. Not only is finito cultural appropriation, but is that Rust from MW2? Seattle is a place that smells of fish and low ambition. No one's opinion in that city really matters. Harry Sisson, who rumor has it wears knee pads from the DNC given his job, I know that rumor because I made it up. That's going to get me in trouble. Editors, delete that. I am the editor. He tweeted about 17 things because nothing screams I'm fun to hang out with, like being 20 years old and so politically active, the White House pays you. Rolling Stone wrote guilty 34 times. That's 34 too many words I wanted to read from Rolling Stone. IGN, a gaming channel, celebrated by referring to the former president as his former game. That one isn't a surprise. Gamers are too busy arguing over what grass might feel like to pay attention to the trial. There was this woman, who I unfortunately just learned about, who considers herself the bold lib. Whatever the that was. Britannica, yeah, the encyclopedia, even tweeted, yes, we've already updated his bio, and actually did it with a typo, proving dictionaries are more useful than an encyclopedia. It's kind of hilarious they have a Gen Z intern running their Twitter, considering no one from Gen Z has touched an encyclopedia. And Brooklyn Dad Defiant, the dude has never even defied a jaywalking law. A grown man celebrating things on Twitter.
What's the craziest thing you got the ick for?
I don't like to see happiness sometimes.
I told you it was Christmas for people who wore masks alone in gentrified neighborhoods. Now, I'm not a pro-Trumper. I'm not a pro-anything other than pro-sparkling water and Zins. But when your government is notorious for electing presidents that stage CI coups in just about any country that has fertile enough soil to grow a drug the U.S. population can get addicted to, or presidents known to drone strike weddings in markets in the Middle East and lock the person up for exposing that, or presidents that illegally spied on their own citizens through the NSA and also attempted to lock up the person that exposed that crime, or presidents who just supplied multiple foreign governments with missiles that have airstrike civilians, and all those presidents get to give speeches or get to direct a Netflix movie. But the president who paid off a pillow actress, a mid one, who ignored her NDA, goes to jail instead. When you think about it like that, it kind of feels like a shitty ending. Like that movie Obama directed.
BuyWokeFree.com. We're like Rotten Tomatoes for your aunt who's on Facebook too much. Check in on brands like Starbucks, more whoa than 4 espressos will have you. Lockheed Martin, or like looking for head from Martin, cause it's whoa. McDonald's, extremely whoa. If eating meat is a happy meal, you encourage same-sex marriage probably. Need a cup of coffee from someone who reflects every single one of your opinions? Make it yourself then, with Gun Barrel Coffee, which received a not woke rating. However, it is creeping up in the woke scale because the beans are still beans and are black. If you're gonna have something black in your house, you better be armed, so we recommend the not woke 1776 Tactical. Still need to exist in society and do simple things like fix your car? Too bad, because AutoZone tested positive for being extremely woke. Any woman who works there is probably a lesbian, which is woke. Want to make dinner after a long hard day? Too bad. Albertsons rated woke. We give you BuyWokeFree.com. Done with woke ideology being shoved in your face. We're tired of woke companies destroying America. Pandering to the radical... Okay, someone slow us the down. Jesus Christ. But we believe it can change. We believe consumers deserve the right to choose brands that align with their values. Buy Woke Free is the only site that rates brands on wokeness and helps you find alternatives. Liberate yourself from the corporate woke hole.
Who the
wrote that.
Disclaimer. Any reliance you place on such information is strictly at your own risk. We are not liable for any loss or damage, including but not limited to, or direct and consequential loss or damage arising from the use of website or any information, product, services, or related classes provided herein. Please consult with a qualified professional for advice specific to your situation. Basically, this is f***ing useless, and I did that in one take.
Who is the U.S. politician signing bombs in Israel? Nikki Haley, the second coming of whatever that was for America, was in Israel where she was signing bombs, or Israel calls it, humanitarian aid because it seems to land on hospitals or people's homes. She wrote, "Finish them, America hearts Israel." Aw, that's so cute. Now, why is the former governor of South Carolina, a state that is literally only known for being part of the South in the Civil War, and Myrtle Beach, which is where the obese sunburn, it's hard to differentiate July on Myrtle Beach and the hippo exhibit at your local zoo. See, Nikki Haley is a politician, and rats can't resist cheese. So if we follow the trail, we can see that Haley has had a booming career of booming innocent people up. She worked at Boeing, where she was paid a salary and a stock of over $300,000, as well as a position at Prism Global Management that paid over $700,000. A company that deliberately hides their online presence, but is co-ran by a guy who worked with the head of the CIA's venture capital firm. Why does a government agency have an investment firm? Her husband launched his own defense contracting firm. Aw, a family business that passes people on that they can pass on. That's adorable. This is the Kevin Hart of the military-industrial complex. She's got so many businesses, I lost count. So these ties make sense as to why she signed bombs in Israel. It's a military-industrial complex's version of DocuSign. And really, at the end of the day, she's just making her bosses proud.
Yeah, I wish you well in your future career on the boards of Lockheed and Raytheon.
Yeah, I'm not on
These terrorists killed us. Thank you. Now watch this drive. All right.
Scott Wiener wants to track your car when you speed. Senator Scott Wiener wants to install a passive speedometer in your car, which would track your car's speed and not allow you to drive 10 miles an hour over the speed limit. And yes, a guy with the last name Wiener proposed this and the Senate passed it. And as if this wasn't the biggest dick move you've seen, Caltrans, a domestic terrorist group in my eyes, they've been building the 91 freeway over the past 20 years. China built new hospitals in 7 days, and you fake piss buying drug addicts can't fix a bridge? Sorry, I should have been meaner. The only thing slower than Caltrans finishing a freeway is Mitch McConnell finishing a speech. Caltrans wants to track people's mileage and charge them 30 cents for every mile. I told you, these communists were terrorists. The radical faction Caltrans saw a dip in their revenue due to the fact people have been driving electric cars in California, and the taxes from gas weren't sustaining their expenses. For drug tests, probably. They're all drug addicts in my eyes. This resulted in a $4 billion loss in revenue. The government losing $4 billion is the greatest thing I've ever heard. And why can't the government of California afford this after all?
The revenue side of this is what it is. I mean, revenue comes in and revenue goes out.
What does that even mean? The government, especially that Ken doll of horrible policies and second marriages, told his citizens to drive electric cars, now wants to make more money off of you driving the electric cars. And they say the data from your mileage tracker won't be used for anything other than the miles. And you should trust that as much as politicians trusted you to drive the speed limit. You're having your bio data stolen. 23andMe has been reported that they are selling anonymous data to pharmaceutical companies for $20 million. It's almost as if sending your DNA to a corporation was a bad idea. Who would have thought? The menstruation tracking app called Flow, not the progressive lady, was also caught sending all their data to Facebook. Zuck knows when it's your time of the month. Flow says that it doesn't share any data with companies unless the user agrees to it. And considering the terms of service are as long as a Harry Potter book that no one reads, Facebook wants this data to serve ads to women who are on their periods or trying to conceive. And then they can flood your feed with ads relevant to those experiences. The advertising world is a bloodbath. Yeah, I said that on purpose. But insurance companies are even worse. Some homeowners' insurance were increased because of drone footage. Insurance companies use drones to fly over houses. Stop using drones. This isn't Ukraine. San Bernardino might as well be. But what? It's true. It looks like a war zone and the people there are just as racist. No one will be offended by that joke. A representative of the insurance company says the idea of a drone secretly taking photos of your private home is awkward. You think? Oh, it's just a silly little drone taking some photos, nothing to worry about, except now you have no insurance on the only asset you have. Sorry. One individual was contracted by their insurance company that there was moss on their roof, and that is terms for the insurance company to cancel the plan. Every company these days is trying to you, and when they're not, they're monetizing people. The homeowners insurance industry is worth $147 billion. $147 billion. even too big for Dr. Evil. The insurance companies say you can get a discount if you just fix your entire roof. Oh, I wish these people were pushed off of these roofs. Those snakes. But government and companies have always us over. Even at the Boston Tea Party, when the tea was thrown into the harbor, the government forced Boston residents to actually pay a fine for the tea being thrown into the harbor. You can't even enjoy doing 85 on the freeway while driving home to your insured house anymore because our politicians are either in jail or doing things that should put them in jail. I'm sending a poop balloon to Caltrans. F it.